recently in Western Europe, I believe. So, you know, I'd say Lycan's probably a better option in terms of carries, but we'll see. I like it. I think Harpoon build up on Lycan's really strong.
It is. It's a pretty fun build-up. I'm pretty sure that's what we'll see coming out here from Sammy. I think the one thing with Lycan as a universal core is that it doesn't have the highest damage per level. At the same time, I don't think that matters too much. It's really just down to getting way more from your itemization. A little bit of an early flank here from Wildcard. Not going to get any smokes out, but we'll just sneak around. It doesn't look like there's going to be any big scuffle.
Not quite. What is that spray? It's a spray in the Radiant Triangle that they're putting down. Is that meant to be like a Joker spray or something? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. It's a disturbing Joker spray.
That just
bothers me, Mike.
When I saw that, I can almost guarantee the person that made that spray was thinking about Sammy Boy when they did that. That's what it feels like to me. That feels like a Sammy idea right there.
I can see it. I can see it, Mike. And the Sammy idea is also to play the game. So we'll see the lanes break out as he would want to play some Dota 2. Taking a look at mid first. Babitic again reuniting with Wildcard to sub in for RCY up against Esk here on the Puck versus the Primal Beast lane. Overall, not too rough of a lane for either side. I think the Primal Beast will cop it a little bit in the early levels, but once you've got the Onslaught and the Trample, and then it becomes a little bit simpler to kind of harass out Babitic as well and keep clearing out the wave. So it should be a stable farming lane. Level 6 is going to be key. If you get that Dream Coil up faster in Babitic, then you can certainly look to cut down Esk early on and just prevent him from getting too much. Maybe some support rotations would be big here as well. I feel like the support duo of Wildcard can be pretty nice in a rotation here.
It certainly can. I'm looking down at the bottom lane for a moment here. Flea's really giving it to Jibei. Teki's one of the heroes that Undying doesn't particularly enjoy playing against because you just can't close the gap very well against this hero. Because he's going to be there with Monster. Jibei really just copying it. See, with the Undying, you want to hit that level 2 timing early and then try to abuse the level 2 timing with the Tombstone and the Decay spam. Though I don't know how much you're really going to get out of it with a Morphling because there's not much harass that can come out from Boris's end of things. Like the best you could hope for is like a waveform forward and maybe a few right clicks. But seems like for now the level 2 time is going to be a little bit slower and they aren't going to really be able to make full use of the level 2 on the Undying.
Yeah, not going to be able to get too much done. Stable farming lane coming out for Boris, though, at very least. Like, he's not going to be under threat as well for Monster. Good courier snipes coming out here from Sunlight and Flea. Just having a little bit of extra gold to play with. MTR taking a look up top. Again, Sammy on the safe lane Lycan up and with Sunlight on the Disruptor up against Lil Nick on the Underlord and Giant on Yench. This top lane should also be fairly stable. You just end up just farming. Maybe a little bit better for the Underlord. You do have wave clear on your side. Lycan doesn't really have that. Especially since Sammy didn't go for the Wolves. He did opt for the Howl Feral Impulse, looking to mitigate right-click harassment onto him, but that does mean his lane control's not quite as good as you'd want it to be here. To be fair, you are up against Ench, so your Wolves probably don't do much here either.
No point. Sammy just wants to farm anyway. He doesn't need the Wolves up. Giant obviously going to be very, very annoying here, and even Sunlight going to have a lot of problems dealing with him. Not much the Disruptor can do here in this lane against the Ench. It's hard. Like usually, you know that the Thunderstrike rather is just so effective with harass trade, but not against a hero like Ench. And he actually goes for the Nature's Attendance level 1 as well, so rather level 2. But you get my point. He does pick it up rather than going for Impetus, which makes enough sense because it just means Giant can never really be forced out of this lane anymore. Bottom, they do drop the Tombstone. Monster is out of range of it now, and it seems like the Tombstone is not really going to do anything for them here. Monster is fine.
He is having to sit back a little bit further than he'd like. Doesn't have a Ring of Health up yet. So can't just regen back in safely, but at least has a Tango coming out. And he's close by to tier 1 for a little bit more coming in there. Should recover quite fine. It's slower lanes overall from both sides. This does feel like... Honestly, I feel like even if you're not finding kills with Undying, as long as you're farming in Boris, you're pretty happy. Like, Sammy is impacted on farm much worse. Like, he only has 11 CS, 12 CS to his name, and he just doesn't have anything to do. Like, he goes for 1-1-1 with the Wolves. You don't really want to show your Wolves up against the Inch. Your lane's always shoved in by Lil Nick. And the Lycan's just not going to have a good start in comparison. The Morph is going to ramp up a lot quicker here.
Just for now. Brian trying to get aggressive on Sunlight. Actually getting a fair bit of damage off here with the level 2 Enchanted Creep. Plus 30 damage on that Centaur Conqueror. So poor old Giant again. Rather Sunlight just forced to back out of there. Giant having a great old time. And I like this as well. Like just getting the early push into the tier 1 tower. They know that Wildcard can't respond to this unless there's a rotation to come in from one of the side lanes. So this is going to be a consistent push coming in here onto the tier 1 tower. And Sammy's just going to be able to find 0 farm. Like, even his Feral Impulse is still level 1, so his regen just is not that high.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised again that he opted for the Wolves, maybe anticipating he needs to go jungling. So, at the least, if you invest in the Wolves, clearing out the jungle to recover isn't too bad for Lycan, but it's also not the ideal. I mean, your top tier 1, 5.5 minutes in, it's already down to 1,000 HP. Just above half. Not a good feeling here for the side of Wildcard, as every lane just looking pretty sharp here for the side of the American Goons, outside of maybe mid. But you've got control everywhere else. Little Nick has a good ramp up, already on the Vanguard. Boris, I mean, he's getting harassed here and there, but he might find a kill.
Yeah, Flea kind of just jumped right into the tier 1 tower, and Boris will clean him up. Boris, a very, very quick reaction on the strength morph, as he was initiated on with the blast off of Flea. And so first blood actually going to go the way of the Morphling. He does that completely solo.
Yeah, just a little bit of overcommitment coming out there from Flea. No backup there for Monster, was just sitting him further back in that creep wave. And, you know, they don't find anything, so a little bit painful for the side of Wildcard to feed that off to the Morphling. And Boris already off to a good start, and with Sammy off to a bad start, it does feel like now the game is kind of hinging on Babatich to get some plays out on the puck. Maybe hit a fast Witchblade timing, get a rotation, play with a coil, look for pickoffs. I just don't know that even if you drop the coil, if you have enough damage here from Wildcard until maybe your supports hit their level 6s as well, which you're still a long way off from. Like Sunlight, still level 2, just gets the glimpse.
That's kind of a shame for Giant. He just TP'd into that area, John, to try and get that Wisdom Rune. Bottom lane, Jabei's going to drop here. Flea able to take him down on the techies, and Flea actually got the Wisdom Rune to boot. So a bit of a shame here for Jabei. He's kind of missing out on everything. Ends up giving a bit of bonus gold back the way of Wildcard. So 1-1 now. Mid lane's been awfully quiet between these two teams, by the way, John. Though it does seem like Babatich has had a very good time on the mid puck.
That's the only lane that's been going really well here for the side of Wildcard. They've managed to suppress Esk and his build up quite nicely. I think the one funny thing from those Wisdom Runes is, again, Sunlight was level 2. Now he's 4, so it's a bit more playable.
Mid lane, Dream Coil is going to make sure that the onslaught never gets off. Pulverize is going to be cancelled immediately by Babatich as well. Very, very nice setup here from Wildcard to just go right into the mid lane. And, well, now they can even secure themselves a nice regen for Babatich. So, full reset for him on the puck. And shutting down the Primal Beast this early on, always going to be a pretty damn good feeling.
They've got enough room now as well to kind of just let Sammy play up top despite losing his tier 1. He's got the wolf levels, and he can jungle. He is going for the Echo Saber build up. So they're probably just looking for the Harpoon to run down some heroes. So to get going, they glimpsed back Esk as well.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Yeah.
Okay. It's getting worse.
All right. That is less than ideal. Yeah, for the side of the American goons. I mean, if you can maybe make it work in your side lanes, you know, like start to pressure Monster a bit more, it could feel better, but it is rather passive. To be fair, your lineup does want to just keep farming, but don't think you want to keep farming this long and allow Wildcard to find these pickoffs. Because eventually Monster will catch up in a free lane. It is a Doom. You know, he will always kind of farm back in. He's working towards a Midas as well. So ignoring the Doom while it's weak is pretty big. They're just trying to focus mid to provide relief for Esk, but I think it's at the point where Esk, he should definitely make a swing elsewhere. And they are moving out. Again, probably eyeing that bot, eyeing Monster, the easy target.
Here we go. Monster. We'll retreat for a little bit. Looks like there is still the rotation incoming. Goon's going to go in with the onslaught, and it will connect perfectly onto the Doom. Boris happy to secure the kill there for the team. Second kill for him on the Morphling, and it's going to open up the bottom tier 1 tower quite nicely here for American Goons to just secure. Thing is, they could just take the mid tier 1 on Wildcard's end of things, and it seems like that's exactly what they're going to do. Like, you want our bot tower? No problem. We'll just take your mid. And that's just way more valuable anyway.
Yeah. It gives them a little bit more here. Well,
Babbage feeling very, very spicy just jumping in, but does decide to retreat. It is an Underlord after all. He's not the easiest cut target.
yeah, he has the full Vanguard up. Wolnick just a little bit too durable right now to really instantly burst. Do you have the full Witchblade up on Babbage? There's a little bit more damage coming out as they run down Monster again.
And here we go again, but Doom is out. Pops it immediately, but has no backup yet. It is coming. Giant. He's the one to tank the gank here from Wildcard. So good positioning from Giant to just tank the gank completely. Knowing the Primal Beast was out of the fight. Now he's back in. Nice onslaught into the Pulverize onto the Puck. Babbage, though, still able to pop the shield rune and just jaunt his way towards the west. So the chase is on here from Boris, but he has to be careful not to go too far. They will glimpse him away, but a nice phase shift going to avoid that completely as Babbage, still in the middle of nowhere, is going to orb away again. But American Goons, they have grouped up. They are looking at that mid-tier 1 tower, and it seems as though they should be able to take this.
Yeah, no problems. I mean, no Coil to threaten, no Doom to threaten from Wildcard. Sammy's certainly not going to show up just yet on that Lycan as well. They can just find the objectives on Goons, and even though it's a very marginal lead here on the American Goons, it is still concerning for Wildcard. Their lineup kind of wants to kick it into gear faster, and you're just nowhere near this early timing you'd want. Like, Echo Saber Lycan's going to be nice. It does feel like you need a full Harpoon to really get going on that hero as a core on the safe lane. DD, nice deny from Babbage at least.
Now Dream Core setup, that allows Flea to jump in for a double blast off, and that is S just gone. Giant, he will survive through it with the Nature's Attendants, but you've got the much bigger target in S going down. Another nice pick up here for Babbage, who has been playing very well on the puck, mind you. Wildcard, I think they're just more than happy to keep buying time for Sammy. Like, your Lycan has caught up decently. Still very far behind the Morphling, mind you, but they have bought him enough time to at least have the Echo Saber on the way. And now he can start officially working towards the Harpoon builder. And there is going to be a timing, like once the Harpoon's available, Sammy will be stronger than the Morph, at least for a certain amount of time. Whether that lasts for very long is a different question entirely. But initially, once the Harpoon is up, it is going to be quite scary to deal with.
It certainly is. It's going to be a lot of output out from Sammy. It's kind of funny as well. Like, your crit in wolf form is pretty... It's minimal, but it's 220% at a 40% chance. With a hero that wants a stat pad as a universal type, that's going to be a lot of output from Sammy if he does hit that point, or when he does hit that point. And a bit longer until that. Still, smoke out from Jubei and Esk here. Looking for Sammy up top, it looks like.
And that's the big one. It's the guy you really want to shut down before he does hit that timing. So Sammy going to be on the eastern side of that top jungle, so not going to be caught out very easily. S going to go for an onslaught out of the dire jungle, just not feeling safe right now. No, well, there was sunlight around on the disruptor for a glimpse back, but didn't really have the vision to start with anyway. Mid lane, Static Storm's gonna be dropped. They have actually found the Morphling with this, and he could not get the Strength Morph in time. Beautiful setup here from Sunlight, and Sammy has started. Here we go.
Good old Sammy boy. He vouched for the goons just to want to crush them in Div 1. Maybe that was the play on his appeal on Twitter. He's like, oh, these guys deserve it, you know? Then he comes in and says, yes, yes, I want to crush Boris. That's the kind of person that I imagine Sam to be. I'm sure he's not like that.
I think he might be, John. I'm not going to lie. I think he might just be.
Oh, glimpse back. Hello. Oh, no dodge. Poor Boris.
Unlucky. He'll have to walk back.
Might have been better. Might have been better for him to have to walk back anyway. There were 3 heroes clumped up mid. So, maybe for the best.
Yeah. You're probably not wrong, John. The lines are drawn up towards the top lane. Babbage, he's moving in. Smoke is still available. Oh, those are a lot of stacks. This could be very good timing here for Wildcard, but they're not running the right way. They're running up north instead. Oh, they barely miss out on a very good fight here. And they might still find Esk for their trouble. Coil is going to land perfectly from Babbage right on the edge. So they've even got the blast off to follow up, and Esk is going to drop. It's still a great pickoff. But had they run south into the triangle, not only would they have found Boris and Jubei, both at half HP, but a bunch of stacks would have been stolen. And that would have been just way bigger.
Yeah, it would have been a bigger take for sure. Some good farm for Boris to find. They don't fully clear out the stacks. It's a little bit too challenging. They could just restack here, wait for the next tombstone from Jubei, and go again. 2-7-0, Wildcard's starting to pull ahead now at a 4K lead, compensating for a little bit of a slower laning start. They've got the Yasha flying out for Sammy into the Manta style first, so not opting for the Harpoon, just wants more stats and just a way to self-dispel from maybe some of the control here on the side of the Goons. Monster, he's been free farming, has to blink up now in the Doom, and they find Esk.
But they do. Esk again going to find himself in a bit of danger. Glimpse was not available to be used, so he does get away. The thing is, Boris is still finding so much time to farm the Morphling. Mind you, again, Sammy is much closer now, just about 400 gold off having the same net worth as the Morph. Babbage, again, I got to give the guy props, John. He's been doing so much work on this park. Here we go again. Coil is out. He's actually locked down the Morph, but the Strength Morph was there in time, so he's going to be just fine. They do not have enough to burst him. But at the same time, there's 5 heroes here from the American Goons, and I don't think they're really going to get anything out of this.
No. Like they can't lock in and try to punish Babbage. He's already bailed out. They're getting some good farm in the downtime here for Sammy, for Monster. BKB for the Doom, not too far off. And having a great time recovering here on the Doom after his slower lane. Just not being contested. Like, he was the most susceptible target. They opt instead for mid. But you just don't really have the stable lockdown to keep Babbage down. So they miss opportunities. Really perhaps Sammy could be a kill.
Could be. That's the big one. Sammy, though, just pops the wolf form and runs. Like, you don't have the greatest lockdown for this guy. Most of your lockdown is the Primal Beast. So unless he's around, the chances are Sammy's going to be able to run away are pretty high. Maybe you could think about building a Rod of Atos on Lil Nick to just have that extra lockdown you require as Esk mid lane. Kinetic Field going to give the vision. Sunlight needs a bit more though for the glimpse. Never actually went for the Thunder Strike, surprisingly enough. Had he landed the Thunder Strike first, he would have just glimpsed him back, but it doesn't get it off. Wanted to go for the Kinetic Field instead. While that's happening though, Roshan has been started. Wildcard, do they have an idea this is happening? It seems like they do. Because lines have been drawn right towards the Roshan pit. But American Goons, they are going to take the high ground on the Twin Gates. The Wolves will hand over the information that Roshan was happening. More Wolves to be sent in here from Sammy. And a smoke now. It's kind of the beautiful thing about the Lycan is you can scout for your team. It's Babidich, gonna avoid Pit of Malice, gonna go right into the silence, finding Lil Nick. They'll try to burst down the Underlord immediately. Now a great static storm, landing on 3 with a Dream Coil. Not allowing any kind of counter initiation. They do lose Lil Nick for 35 seconds now. No buyback. And Roshan has come to a complete halt. But those ultis are now down. So if you're American Goons, you could go for a big fight. But Boris is going to TP out. He does not want it.
That's... Oh, might find sunlight at least.
Sunlight?
No.
He's still fine. The glimpse
What?
back. Going to
Nice
cancel
glimpse.
the pulverize.
Right as he's coming in, expected to pulverize, got the glimpse off first. Mind you, that kill in Lil Nick probably doesn't count for anything, because it was a deny. So you don't really get anything for Wildcard for all of those ultimates. But you stop Roche and you might find, well, you're close to almost burning down Boris. But Babidich alone just can't get that done. He needs way more to really hunt down that morph. Boris not really ready yet to engage. Only the Manta going into what looks to be his Lincoln's next. Maybe at that point feel more stable, although...
Last off mid lane, but again the Strength Morph was out. Boris has got the reaction speed to react to all these spells being thrown. The man has only died once this game, and that wasn't based off how fast he reacted. So props to him for really just paying attention here in this game. So apparently Flea just hands the tip over to Lil Nick for some reason. Meanwhile, Esk is going to be chased down here by Babidich. Does have the coil if he wants to commit all the way. But he's underneath the T2 tower now, so it's not well advised. Immediately Babidich puts the hand up and just blinks out. And no fear in the world here against Lil Nick.
Yep. Just working the map well, forcing a lot of movements out, preventing them from trying to be efficient in the map. They pop the static storm, but they don't catch Giant. Doesn't lead to too much for Sunlight.
Oh, this puck is being so annoying. He is being such a nuisance, this guy. Takes a courier, gets a wisdom rune. Meanwhile, bottom lane. Sammy's going to pop the wolf form. They're going to rush in. They found an inch. Giant is getting torn apart. 2 crits in a row. Just loses all his HP in one Echo Saber hit. Zesk now, gotta run. Crimson Guard doing some great work. Sammy in trouble. He'll be able to run away and just kite it out of the team fight. They got the Doom off on Lil Nick, so they want the Underlord down again. Babidich does end up moving in. Monster now the one in danger here on the Doom. Onslaught cancelled by Esk preemptively though, not looking to move in. And so this team fight does end in only 1 kill. And that is just going to be an Enchantress. I think the thing for Sammy in particular is he does not want to man-fight Boris if he can avoid it. Not yet anyway. So every time Boris shows up and he can move into the Lycan, Sammy wants none of it.
Yeah, the Morphling's a little bit too big. Well, not too big, but not something the Lycan directly manages. That's really more down to your Static Storm, to your Doom. So it's down to your Disruptor and Doom for sure. And again, you didn't have Static Storm that last fight with Sunlight kind of trying to go for that solo kill onto Giant. So, kind of need to wait for those spells to be up. Babidich, though, always on the hunt.
Absolutely. I think Babidich wants back into the team, John, with the way he's been playing this game one, I'll tell you. 4-0-2. Maybe having a talk with Sammy right now, like, you know, you need me. Is this RCY kid too busy picking up his parents? You know?
Hey.
Shout out to RC. Hey, no, it's good. It's good. I like that. I'm a dad now, John.
Look.
I appreciate good kids.
He's a Filipino kid. He probably lives with his parents. You can't piss them off and have them kick you out. What's he gonna do? Survive on a Div 2 salary? Ha! Let him live with his parents. Salary, you're right. What did I just say? What is that word?
Who said anything about a salary, John? Bottom, Flea actually ends up getting out of there. Babidich again with a Dream Coil will lock them down. Luanic forced to respond, but he just leaves. The Flea surely still goes down.
Whoa.
The onslaught doesn't land.
Huh?
What?
Wait, did he? It's just not enough range? Is that what it was? The Sunlight top lane now goes down. Monster forced to BKB TP out. We'll be okay. I could have sworn the onslaught range was actually bigger than that, but maybe
he didn't fully channel it. I don't think
That's what I
fully
thought.
channeled it. Yeah, I heard the audio cue. He didn't go all the way, so they miss out on that opportunity. I mean, you still find something in Disruptor at the least, and you force out the BKB up top. Not the best thing for Monster to have to deal with. At the same time, you don't take any losses. You find a tier 1. A harpoon for Sammy's finally done.
Uh-oh.
So here goes her Lycan going fishing. And wolves do like to fish, Mike.
Do they?
I believe they do
An actual
go
fact?
into rivers and pick up fish. I think so.
Do they really? Isn't that bears, John? Not a
Bears
bear
do that,
thing?
but I'm sure wolves are opportunistic as well. They would take the opportunity if they can catch a fish. I have seen fish, wolf pictures with fish in their mouth, I believe.
Okay.
It does happen.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Jonathan. Always appreciate it. But you can never confirm the facts you're providing with me. You just
I
know?
will never want to confirm, Mikey. I stand.
You
to
sure you don't
say
want to go
that
into
I
the
don't
woods
know
and find out?
No,
No,
no.
it's all right.
Oh,
Bottom.
Oh, ooh. That's a kill.
Sounds like you were playing there for a moment, John. You're just very, very excited. Babbage. Still running.
His TP was cancelled. You know, he went in, got his TP cancelled, still finds the kill.
Babbage has been on fire. 6-0-2 on this park. Very, very clean performance. Like, he's that puck player in your pubs that you just hate to play against because you just can't catch him. You know?
Oh.
You know those puck players that they just, all they do is play puck? Like those disgusting tinker players out there?
Yep.
You see that level
That's
30
about
puck and
it.
you just roll your eyes every time the game starts.
Yep. That's where you open up the console, type disconnect, and abandon game. if you're not having a good one, you're like, I don't want to deal with this, you know? It's like my team
me.
gets no stuns. But this lineup, look at this. Look at this lineup from Goons. No stunts in the supports. Your hardest lockdown's what? Your Pit of Malice and Pulverize. That's just not enough. Bobitich has just been hit and running the entire time. He's going to have Octarine. So him weaving in and out, it's just going to get even worse here, Mike, once that's up.
He goes
We'll try
Roshan
Roche again. Ah.
I mean, Wildcard, they are around as 3, so they do actually have an opportunity to try and fight back here. Roshan going down a little bit faster than last time, at least. Here come Wildcard with the rotations, but I'm not sure if they truly realize that this is happening. Roshan's getting very low now. They do smoke up, but they've got to hurry up. Oh, they've got to get in there now. No, they're running the wrong way. They aren't fully aware. And now it's too late, but they're going to go for the fight anyway. Onto the edge immediately. There's your doom out again onto Lil Nick. Poor old Lil Nick just cannot catch a break on the Underlord as they even pop the Static Storm. Like, it's not enough that he's muted. He needs to be silenced. He needs to be killed. No Lil Nick in this game. Game number 1.
No. No Little Nick. Wildcard. They've got it out for him. Esk, yeah, it's going to be able to TP out.
He's alright, he's alright.
Spot, unfortunately. But that's huge for Sammy. 2 kills going his way. He's got the Basher up. Right after that Harpoon, he's going into the Lincolns. Like, this Lycan, man, would max out Shapeshift, a free 220% crit with 230 base damage. This guy does a lot. Sammy is not to be underestimated as the core Lycan. Sure, this timing for Boris into the Ags, that will make it pretty hard for the Lycan to dish out the damage, but I don't think it's late enough that Boris can safely just turn into a Lycan anyway. He's probably going to have to turn into a Puck for some good backline pickoff potential here, and that just means Sammy still gets to play with his stats.
I wonder how the transition against the Morph works, though. Like, I mean, do you think he just builds a Skadi on the Lycan at some point? I thought Skadi would actually be quite nice for the Lycan this game, considering he is against the Morph, and obviously the stats are very good as Universal Hero. For now, he's going for the Lincolns, but I could see, like, the last item he picks up. I wouldn't mind seeing a Skadi here on the Lycan.
Yeah, I think he'd go maybe Scotty into the Lincolns into Scotty, sell boots for overwhelming blink. That could be the play. Lycan doesn't really need boots anyway. So I can see that being the route Sammy takes if the game continues to go well. If farm slows down, all of those timings are kind of thrown off. They are smoking into Aegis here, Wildcard, but they are confident. I mean, you can take care of Boris's 2 lives right now. He's not the tankiest when he's fully agied up. Doesn't have as much stats just yet on that Morphling.
Axe is there now for Boris. He might want to try and play off this power spike. It's crazy how much net worth now on the is now on the Lycan. Sammy has well and truly taken over in terms of the net worth department. Mid lane, little Nick. Oh, we've seen this before. Like, they just can't help themselves when it comes to this guy. Monster, not going to dive the tier 2 tower. I mean, I do appreciate the Doom being committed on the Underlord every fight, though. Like, having the pipe and the Crimson removed from the game for the Doom duration is going to feel really nice every time. And the thing is, the Crimson just ruins Sammy's time so much on the Lycan. Is there is actually going to be a big group up here top lane. Tombstone dropped very, very early on. Coil is way off the mark here, catching absolutely nobody. So a few whiff spells here. So Wildcard, they won't have the coil, but they can at least wait out the Tombstone now. But it seems like they aren't going to go for the fight. Coil's down. That's enough for them to back out of there. And American Goons, instead, they're just going to stick around, take the top tier 2 tower, and they'll get away with it. No stopping them.
Yep, no contention as
He's
going
on.
hunting a little bit. I think your one issue for the side of the Goons is that you don't have anyone that naturally connects with your Primal Beast. Like, maybe the Morphling can once he's more confident. The BKB is probably the time when Boris is waiting for, but right now you charge in as Primal Beast. Nothing there to help. Oh, Boris.
We jump in, Monster. Force the BKB. There's your jump in from Esk as well, but a nice static storm. Sunlight. Oh, he caught out 2 initially. The kinetic field was not there to hold him in, sadly, but in goes Sammy. He'll just do it the old-fashioned way against Esk. There's no way out for him anyway. Sammy gonna go for a little bit more now. We'll find Lil Nick. Gets the bash immediately. Cancels the TP of the Underlord. Lil Nick is down. So is Jabay. In fact, the only survivor is Boris. But my oh my, this Lycan is hitting hard. And I was correct, Jonathan. He's going to go for a Scotty after this.
Yeah, it's a great build. Heads up to you, Mike. You understand universal types now. No?
Thank you, John.
You got it. You know it. It's the stats, baby. Just stat up. You already have a crit in the shapeshift anyway. You don't need a steroid on Lycan.
You know
so
what?
Probably
though,
just... Yeah.
Instead of all these stats on Lycan, hear me out.
Yeah.
What if we brought Necrobook back?
No.
I mean, it's pretty clear, based off the recent patches, that Ice Frog is back. Now, whoever deleted Necrobook, Jonathan, I think we need to talk to that person and revert that change. Ice Frog, if you're listening, you need to have a chat with somebody, because Necrobook deserves to be in the game.
I'm pretty sure Ice Frog was the one who decided to take out Necrobook.
Why did he put it in then, John? Why even put it in?
Because the game changes, Mikey. The game changes. No more Necrobook. Wait. Well, I'm trying to think of a way to make Necrobook fun. And I just don't. I'm sorry, I can't. Can you imagine Necrobook here now with Dazzle and the way his bad juju works? You just keep hurting yourself to spam to get more Necrobooks up. Why would you want this?
Why not?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to end up casting China and seeing a Dazzle mid, and then seeing this Necronomicon rush with Octarine and just hurting. Literally, Dazzle hurting himself to get the Necronomicon book out is literally what I feel when I see that. It's just, it hurts me. Please don't.
If you had a choice between Necrobook and Earth Spirit Q stunning again, which one would you choose? Gun to your head, you had to choose.
I would choose Necronomicon over fucking Earth Spirit. Screw that.
You're the worst, John.
Screw that time,
You're actually
man.
the worst.
That was a nightmare when Earth Spirit was busted, you know? That was a nightmare. I'd rather have the books. At least I can read. I can't stone, Mike, but I can read. Okay?
Here we go. Bottom tier 3 tower pushes somewhat underway. Sammy could just throw the wolves in if he wants. Meanwhile, mid lane, Koya was committed. Esk is going to have the BKB and we'll just walk out of it. Like little Nick will address the bot tier 3 tower being forced in, but cannot be around to address the mid tier 2 tower. Now, this pos 1 Lycan is actually... Like, I'm not sure if it's just Sammy playing it really well, but it looks kind of busted. Like, he's hitting for 500 per right click right now, John.
Yeah. I think it's down to the fact that out of all the universal, like, cores, you know, Abaddon, Magnus being nerfed, Abaddon, Magnus, and Wind Ranger, Lycan was not touched in this sub-patch, right? So he is the next step for anyone who wants to play a universal safe lane. And well, Sammy's showing it off.
Look at the morph, John. He's morphed 248 ag. He's hitting for about 300 damage. Lycan's just hitting casually for 500 damage.
Universal type heroes. Shouldn't water be universal, Mike? It's all over the place. It's a fundamental building block of life. Morphling should be universal.
You might be right, John. Then again, isn't Dark Warden's not universal? He's like literally the warden of the universe.
True.
Is he not?
True, but Arc Warden.
Imagine he was. Yeah, it'd be disgusting.
It would be. No, but imagine if Morphling was universal type and morphed into universal type, so all the stats mean you get Oh god.
Here we go. Smoke on smoke. Oh, what have they found? It's going to be Jibbe.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he got 2 hit there by Sammy. Esk going to be scouted out. Jibbe's going to buy back immediately. He needs to get back into this team fight. They'll have the Fiends get there to bring him back in, but a big blast off.
Oh, God.
Flees it again. A 2-man stun, and they are just melting with the Static Storm on top. Boris, I don't think you can fight, Boris. Run. There's a scary wolf coming in, Boris. He'll try. Oh, in fact, he's doing a lot of damage. Sammy needs to run out of there. The big bad wolf is not looking so bad right now. Sunlight, in the meantime, is going to be able to escape with the kinetic field. It still looks like a great team fight for Wildcard, that they are having troubles dealing with Jibbe and the Morph. But there goes Jibbe. It's now the Morphling versus the world. And sadly for Boris, it was looking like it's a bit of a drought here in the top side of the map. As he is just getting perma-bashed up and he's down. And Roshan spawns just as he dies. Perfect timing.
You can just go for a nice easy Roshan take. You did see there though, the impact Boris has when he does turn into Lycan. Like, Sammy's damage from 283 plus 230 went down to 170. That's kind of nuts. And at the same time, your Morphling went up to 333. Like, it just impacts the Lycan in that it feels like you don't do damage. And you are so much squishier. Just not enough when the rest of his team already fell. I think if Boris managed to turn into the Lycan earlier, got the Howls off, and still have, say, Atrophy around, have the Crimson Guard active, you would be doing very little damage on Sammy. And that could be the counterplay for the Goons if they execute that way. Still, it just goes the way of Wildcard. Sammy has a secondary life. And he's got enough to almost just buy out his Scotty soon. With a full Abyssal. Like, this Lycan, if you don't morph into him, and if you don't manage to get your Crimson Guard and maintain Lil Nick's life with the Atrophy up, then it takes over. Like, Sammy just bursts everyone down. It's just universal type hero with a crit.
It certainly is. Sammy's showing us just how busted this universal type is. But I try my hardest to talk crap about universal heroes the best I can, John. Because part of me just doesn't want to see them get nerfed. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't even play these heroes.
No, I agree with you. I think they're fun. I do think they're overtuned. I was having a discussion, or hold that thought, are they going to fight over this word? No. They might stall. Monster has
No,
the
'cause you-
Ags, wants to
'cause
reveal
you
it.
know why, John? Like, you get new heroes like Muerta, for example. In fact, now they're going to go in. Giant's getting caught out. So Giant is going to die here. Eventually. Very, very slowly. There we go. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you get a new hero like Muerta. She just never takes off. Wouldn't you have rather she just been absolutely broken? In fact, hold that thought, because now Lil Nick's caught out. And he's about to be absolutely broken here, John. He's down. Like, all I'm saying is, I would rather a broken bunch of new heroes. And every time I say this, they just jump in again. Jabei's now down. Feels like I'm trying to make a point to my wife.
No
here,
one
John. I
wants
just
to
can't
hear
keep
it.
getting interrupted.
No one wants to hear it, Mike.
Okay. That's what she tells me too, John. Top Rex is down. You get my
I can't
point. I'm
wait.
not saying anymore. You get what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying, Mike. Yeah. I can't wait till your kid's a teenager as well, and she'll be like doing this exact same thing to you. Oh, I can't wait for Daddy Mike
she
to go
won't.
into full gear.
No, she won't.
You underestimate the power of teens, Mike, and their angst, and their anime phase. God help
they
us if she
underestimate-
watches good anime.
They underestimate my upbringing, Jonathan. They tell you.
Oh
Bottom
God.
lane. Nice glimpse back. Who have they got with the... Oh, it's Boris. Boris has been glimpsed
Oh my
back to the
God.
bot lane. He's not here to defend. It's already bad enough without the Morphling. He's coming. We need you quick, Boris. Megas are coming, but we need you. Babbage is still messing with them as well on the puck. He's back in the base. But never mind, he went south. Are they going to find him? Phase shift is there. All towards the north again. Babbage is still just running. It's just, this puck has made a fool of them all game, John.
Yeah. The draft just
Sunny?
can't deal with it.
Okay, here we go.
Little friends.
Oh,
doesn't
little,
do much.
Yeah, the little friends.
That does absolutely nothing.
Wait, it's the worst shards in the game. Like, I remember once you were trying to convince me this was a good item. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? This is it's complete... Like, I know it's you, and you like all the stupid Ags and Egg shards, but this one's beyond belief at how bad it is.
No, when it was new, we were theorizing it could be good against the creep armies, and it just never is. It's so bad.
It just isn't. Here we go. Onto the Primal Beast they go. Monster just making sure everyone remains doomed up. Dream Coil's there onto Lil Nick once again. They'll just drag him back with the harpoon, and Lil Nick is not looking very tanky as now the Static Storm to blast off everything being thrown. GG is the call. Lil Nick has had enough. I can't quite blame him. Wildcard just completely destroying them here in game 1, 41 and a half minutes in. And I give him props. I mean, Wildcard, they come in with a great draft. Something different for us here.